So I'm currently recording this a little bit ahead of time, but regardless, it is actually kind of crazy to see HBAR being one of the top 3 gainers in the last 24 hours. And even if we go to the last 7 days, HBAR is still in the top 3, up over 59, almost 60%. And this is absolutely wild, but it is something that I've been telling everyone about when it comes to Hedera and what they have been doing, because they have been absolutely killing the game. And this just goes to show that hard work does pay off in this space as these teams really kind of start to push updates, expand operations, and ultimately just build. So with this being said, we have a lot to talk about in this video. So welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's take a quick look at HBAR actually. So as we look at this, yes, the market is having a little bit of a sell-off, which is to be expected. But trading volume for HBAR up over 300 and more. Well, actually, it's up to 3.5 billion almost, 135%. And if we look at the last day, up about roughly 13%. Last 7 days, up almost 60%. Last month, up over 400 and almost 9%. Guys, it's been a crazy ride. If we look at the all-time chart for HBAR, we're still about roughly 44% away from creating a new all-time high. But what an absolute beautiful, beautiful sight when it comes to HBAR. And also, if we actually look at the candles here, it seems like we're back here, right? Where, the next month is going to be the big, candle to the upside for HBAR. Now, where is this going to take us? Ultimately speaking, I think that we're going to be breaking over $1 for HBAR. And I do think that HBAR is going to surprise a lot of people that continue to doubt it. And even today, continue still to doubt it. So as we look at Hedera, I do think that this one's about to shake things up a bit. Now, also talking about that, almost everyone is now starting to bull post about HBAR over on X, and a lot of new faces as well, claiming that they've been, posting about HBAR. They've been talking about HBAR, even though a lot of these people, they just haven't been. But if we actually look at it, we have Hedera's HBAR, the unexpected crypto climber, has recently entered the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, surpassing Litecoin. Its value has surged over 450% in the last 30 days, now trading at 25 cents. The community is highly optimistic, with many predicting further increases to $1 or even $2 per token. Now, a lot of people have definitely been, calling this, but it is wild to witness so many new faces actually talking about HBAR over on X. And I do think that, like I said, this is just the beginning. If we actually go over here to the cryptocurrencies list, we can see that HBAR is actually number 19 with $8.9 billion in market cap, and it's very close to flipping Sui actually. And from Sui, it's not a long road to the number 16 spot, where Chainlink resides at about roughly $12.2 billion in market cap. From that point on, the road to a top 10, it really is not that far off. So I do think that HBAR is about to surprise a lot of people by pumping up into the top 10. And, on top of that, I've always said Hedera is a top 10 project. It is. It just will take a little bit of time to get there. And we finally are starting to see some nice moves here for Hedera. And also, retail focus on HBAR is definitely at all-time highs, even if we're going all the way back to 2021, for an example. Here we have Hedera HBAR in terms of Google Trends just surging, going parabolic. So absolutely love to see that as well. It just shows you guys that retail is here. They're back. And the FOMO is also happening. Listen, when I did a live stream the other day on XRP, which was actually yesterday, a lot of people were asking me if now's the time to buy. Guys, just for reference real quick, and I just really want to talk about this. If we look at HBAR, okay, I was talking about HBAR down here. I was talking about it all through here. I was talking about HBAR in the middle of a bear market. That is the time to be a big buyer. I said anything that is sub 10 cents on HBAR is going to be a big buy. And this is exactly why. I knew that we were going to break out eventually. I knew that we were going to retest some of these, highs eventually. And it's only a matter of time until we're trading well over 50 plus cents. Those profits that if you bought anything sub 10 cents are looking pretty juicy even right now. But outside of this, FOMO is definitely going to kick in a big way. When we look at the Hedera HBAR chart, right? The HBAR Bitcoin pair, guys, we are trading at the first initial major target. And if we go all the way back here to January of 2021, right before the big run up for HBAR, you could see that we're starting to get into that same exact area. Very similar price action, by the way. If you actually look at this, this was the end of December into the beginning of January. This is the end of October into the beginning of November. So this means that instead of us topping out sometime around like September of 2021, I know that a lot of projects actually topped out earlier around like May or so. We could actually cut some of those timeframes back. I ultimately think that we top a lot earlier because we're already kind of starting this much earlier in terms of the upside price moves here. But yes, this is a very similar overall move than back here in December, January of 2020 to 2021. And if we're thinking about this, I do think that things are about to stall out a little bit, very similar to this, right? Where we, have that big, nice move to the upside. And then we kind of just stalled out before having a much larger move to the upside. So something like this would make sense for HBAR to break out against the Bitcoin pair. And by the way, if we're really thinking about this, okay, I do believe that HBAR is going to make a new all-time high in USD, but I also think that's going to make a new all-time high in terms of the Bitcoin pair. We are still 381% away from a new all-time high on the Bitcoin pair. So if we're thinking about that, how high do we think that the USD pair is going to go? Is it going to 4x from here? Well, if it does, then it's going to $1 plus. So as we really look at Hedera right now, guys, it is about to steal the show in a large way. And I was mentioning just the other day on the channel, right? If we scroll back down, I mentioned the trading volume on Hedera, more so specifically how much was being traded per minute over on Fiat Leak. And this was a crazy amount. But today I actually saw these numbers jump up to about roughly 3 million plus HBAR being traded in the last minute. That's insane to me. But also we have a new listing for HBAR as well. So even more trading volume, even more eyes on HBAR. And this is actually from BitGet. And if you guys don't know, BitGet is one of the largest exchanges out there, 4.3 million followers. Even if we go over to the exchange list, the exchanges over here in terms of the list, we can see that BitGet is number 6 on this list. 5 million plus weekly visits. It's just as big as Bybit, for an example. It's much larger than Coinbase if we're really thinking about this. But also, if you look at the trading volume, guys, almost $6.4 billion. Again, this is right on par with Coinbase. So as we really look at BitGet, this is a massive exchange that is now listing HBAR because of all of the retail hype, all of the retail focus, and also the volume around Hedera. Now, on top of this, let's go check out DeFi, because as HBAR is moving up the list over on CoinMarketCap, it's also moving up the list in terms of TVL. We are actually now at $260, almost $5 million in TVL. And it feels like just yesterday we were at 198 million back in March of this year. We're now well over 260, almost $5 million, which is just wild to me. And we can see this massive spike to the upside. Also, in terms of HBAR, we could see, where the TVL is in terms of HBAR. But ultimately speaking, I'm very, very excited for this. I'm very happy about this. We could actually see just this year alone how much this has grown. And I do think that this is also just the beginning. And by the way, Bonzo Finance. Remember when I told you guys to stay focused on Bonzo Finance, because I was telling you guys that I think that this is going to be a big player, and I still think that as well. When this first launched, we initially saw about roughly $3 million in at the beginning of the month, right? Of November. We're now in December. But $3 million. Okay. We're now well over $19 million. This is growing significantly. And I don't think that I need to tell you guys that when we go back over to the categories, Number 2 is lending with over 40, almost $8 billion tied to it. So definitely focus on Bonzo because I do think that that is going to ignite the TVL on Hedera. And at the time that I am recording this, we are now at almost $269 million. So it actually jumped up a little bit more. Love to see it. But the entire DeFi space for Hedera has been climbing significantly over the last, day, 7 days, and even the 1 month. And yes, this definitely does have something to do with HBAR also pumping, because when HBAR does pump, it does pump the TVL up significantly. But I'm very excited to watch this happen. And also, if we're really kind of looking at the ranks over on DeFi Llama as well, we could see that Hedera has now moved up into the mid 30s. I look forward to seeing this really kind of climbing the ranks a little bit more. Would be great to actually see this starting to flip some big players. If we're really thinking about this logically, I do think that Hedera deserves to be much higher on this list. It's just that it does lack a lot more DeFi participants. So we'll definitely wait and see what happens when the retail crowd really joins back, because I do think that that's going to be a big driver of the TVL and even around the ecosystem growth. And last but not least, of course, I do want to bring up the fact that Hedera is now all in on tokenization. They have been really pushing tokenization heavily. They have been for like the last 2 or so years now. But they recently did put out an ebook regarding how everything of value will be tokenized. We know that Hedera is already working with some very big players around specific markets. For an example, real estate, right? Major market to be tokenized. I'm actually going to be making a video regarding this because I think everyone needs to focus on that. But definitely go check this out if you haven't already, because it does show you just how great the network is in terms of Hedera to really kind of not only enable tokenization, but really kind of allow the tokenized economy to thrive. And Hedera definitely has every single tool in its arsenal to make sure that the tokenization of essentially everything is enabled. And I do think that they will reap the rewards of that. Now, with all of that in mind, let's go back to the initial view of HBAR. When we really think about HBAR, what is my price prediction for this cycle? A lot of people have been asking me, and I just want to give you guys my overall realistic view on HBAR. If we go all the way back to 2021, it did hit about roughly 50 to 60 cents, depending on, of course, the exchange. With how much is on Hedera today, with how much is happening around Hedera today, with how much focus is on Hedera, with how much the DeFi ecosystem is growing and things like that, I would not be opposed to seeing HBAR at about roughly $1 to $2. Now, that's the base case in my opinion. If we're talking about like Moon Boy targets, then $2 to $4. So that's my overall prediction on HBAR this cycle. Obviously, take profits along the way. Make sure that you guys do have an exit plan in place, because things are going to get wild once they officially begin. And with that being said, guys, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.